Kizer, here they come with the Shamshir. This is a lightweight, real EDC-able knife. This is not a big knife. This is like 3¼ inch blade, 7½ overall length. Very lightweight. Cpm S35vn stonewash blade, and the designer is Azo. Titanium frame lock, not a flipper. It's got ambidextrous thumb studs. Great action on it. Comes in a really nice box. Here's what it says. Ki4517, 3.24 inch blade, titanium handle. Kicks right out, really nice. Hardened steel insert in the lock bar. There you go, over travel stop, and it's got a ceramic detent ball. Ceramic bearings as well. Flow. Design flow, very nice. Blade to handle length looks pretty adequate. This is interesting here, you know how this is done on both sides. It almost looked as if they cut away this middle section like they were going to put an inlay in there. Doesn't it look like that? I mean, it looks like that to me. It's kind of like, where'd the inlay go? Not that I'm missing it. It's really a nice looking design, and sometimes less is more. So it's just there. It's simplicity. Back spacer wraps around to a lanyard area that's kind of half buried in the scales. And we'll take this one apart, take a look at it. But they've definitely done some weight relieving in there. Easy to disengage that blade, and it drops right away. And it's over that detent ball very quickly. Can you middle finger flick it? Oh, yeah. So, centered, no blade play, no lock rock, and not terribly expensive. 149 bucks. I got mine from White Mountain. So what would the LTK discount code give you when it gives you 10% off? It'd give you 15 bucks. So if you say it's 150 minus 15, that's 135. I don't see tax being charged on their site. Maybe that's a thing with New Hampshire. So I'm not paying tax. Can you imagine I've seen some of the other retailers online charging tax. That's at 10%, it'd be 15 bucks, right? I mean, you'd be all back into that, plus shipping for some of them. So there you go. That makes a big difference. So at $135, CPM S35vn, super steel, titanium frame lock flipper. That seems pretty reasonable to me. And it's really light. Let's get the scales out here. You already know it's 7½ inches overall length, 3¼ inch blade. 91.5 grams. Let's roll it around to ounces. 3.23 ounces. That's light. That's just really, really light. Throw it up against my Mannix here. Oh, the Mannix starting to look big, isn't it? So if that Mannix looks big, how big does this Mannix look? This is the Mannix XL. Oh, it's a monster. It's a freaking monster. I'll get my Tucson saber tooth out here. The saber tooth is only 3.35 inch blade. So it's pretty close to the same size. But the saber tooth feels a lot heavier than the Shamshir. But drop like a rock, doesn't it? Really nice. As I said, there you go. 3¼ inch blade, just a skosh over. And of course, it depends on where you're going to measure. Got a lot of belly on that blade, don't we? Look at that. Kind of that swept blade look, a little bit on the Persian side there, but 85 millimeters. And yeah, 7.5 overall at basically 19 centimeters. Now, if you take it in the middle, 0.45, 11.5 millimeters. Let's get up on top here. And that's 12.2, 12.3 at 0.48 millimeters, and 0.13 on the blade at basically 3.5 millimeter thick blade stock. So I thought these were the stop, but it looks like there's an internal blade stop. So interesting. We'll check that out when we get this apart. How is my balance? Balance is good on this knife. Ergos. Well, very neutral here, isn't it? So ergos are good. I can get all my fingers on there. If you got much bigger hands, you're going to have a problem. But that's what you run into when you run into a smaller knife. You've got a little cutaway here. So you've got a little choil. Not really a go forward area, but a little choil area in here for sharpening. And yeah, it's sharp out of the box. Speaking of the box, there's the box. And this is kind of how Kizer does it now. They have these are magnetic closures here. And this gives you a microfiber cloth in here and their paperwork, etc. And then instead of a zipper pouch, it's a Velcro pouch with the plastic that the knife goes into. So that goes there. This all sits on top like this. And then the magnetic closures, and outside is a sleeve the box goes into. So you got a lot of protection. You got the outer sleeve for shelf wear purposes, the inner box, and then there's the Velcro pouch inside with a microfiber cloth. That's a lot of extra goodies for $135. And man, that is light. That is light. Very light and versatile. Reverse grip, yeah, feels good too. There's your cutaway for being able to disengage the liner, and it's easy, or the lock bar, and that's easy to do. Keep looking for a flipper tab, don't I? And boom, thumb flick or middle finger flick, however you want to do that, not a problem. Drops right down, centered, no blade play, no lock rock. Backspacer again. Lots of jimping, wrapping all the way around here. Kind of a cool look to it. I like that. Gives it a little bit of a finished look to it as well. Pocket clip, I don't think I've carried this. I don't think I have put this in my pocket. So busted, but it looks pretty standard. It looks like it'll work. It's somewhat flexible here. Milled pocket clips are what they are. I mean, you got to put them on a knife like this, but I don't find them as versatile and as usable as the steel stamped ones. So it's not real long. It doesn't take over the look of the design on the back, does it? You've got entree from the front and the back on this, so I'll be interested in seeing what the pivot looks like, if it's just a total round pivot or D-shaped or one piece or three piece. Just use my clamp to kind of hold it in place while I get on both sides, because yes, the entire pivot was turning. And yes, the screw is in the front here. So it comes right out. And that's the good thing about having access when you have a round pivot, because you're going to turn it and then you might have issues. We've got screws back here in the back, and they look like a number 6. And they are. There's the screws from the back, you know, and of course, the front is a real clean look. There's no screws here, right? So they're coming from the back. They're coming all the way through. Ceramic, bearings, and there's your travel for your blade stop, because there is your blade stop built in right here. So the thumb studs looked like they were the stop, but it, you know, that can be deceiving sometimes. And there's weight relieving going on all over in here. Ceramic detamp ball, hardened steel insert with over travel stop, and your ceramic bearings as well. Underneath the ceramic bearings is your steel washer, and it's got that kind of nice little track for those bearings to run on. So it looks really clean. Looks really clean, really nice. So easy to put this one back together. Bingo bango. Kick it right back down. Throw this right on top. Yeah, it's a round pivot, so it's not D-shaped. So you got to make sure you got access on both sides to break that away. Okay. Big long screws in there. Once again. Looks centered. Great action. Yeah, no play. Lightweight, good looking, great action. Might be a nice knife to have for the price as well, just as a good all-around carry. It got some style points here. Handsome knife. I'm going to leave you guys alone, but Kizer, looking forward to seeing the rest of the knives that they're going to release for 2020. Looked like a good lineup at the 2020 SHOT Show. So, yes, they're coming out now. We do. We love them knives. You guys know it. And so you guys stay sharp.